Okay, guys, today we are going to create our very own uh, Fortnite character, or if you don't want it to be a Fortnite character, you can make it a superhero. So I'm going to show you how to do it step by step, just this basic figure, and then whatever details you want to add to it, that is going to be on you. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to have a pencil with an eraser, and I'm going to draw it with a marker so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But as always, you guys should use a pencil and eraser so you can erase if you make a mistake. So here we go. I'm actually going to start with my pencil just to kind of help give me some little places on my paper where I need to put stuff. I'm going to put one finger at the top of my paper, and I'm going to put my other finger at the bottom. I'm going to move them toward each other, and where they touch is going to be about the middle of the paper. So that's about where our waistline is going to be. So this will be where our character's legs will be, and then his torso and head will be above that line. Okay, so I'm going to come up maybe about 2 finger spaces below the edge of my paper. I'm going to put a dot and then another dot kind of parallel to it. Right there, my 2 dots, and that's just going to be for how big I would like my character's head to be. Okay, so I'm going to draw 2 parallel lines down. This is going to be the width of his face, okay, how big his head's going to be. So then from there, I'm going to try to make sure that my lines are about the same length. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 lines that are going to kind of come in a little bit, and then I'm going to close it off with a curve or a straight line. Kind of up to you how you want your face to look. This is the male character, so his face is a little bit more boxy. Okay? On my little lines that I drew diagonal to kind of shape his face, I'm going to draw 2 lines that come down for his neck, and then I'm going to curve those off. Okay, so there's his head, there's his neck. Now, our character is symmetrical, so whatever I do on the left side, I'm also going to do on the right. Okay, so where our neck ends, right there, where we started our curve, I'm going to draw 2 little lines that come down out just past his head because these are going to be our shoulders. Okay, now I'm going to bring my finger about a finger length past my line, and I'm going to put a dot. That's going to be our waistline. Make that dot a little bit bigger so that you can see it. Right there is where the waistline is going to be. So I'm going to draw a line kind of through that dot. It doesn't need to be super, super long. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my shoulders to the line that I just drew. Okay? So I'm going to draw a line that comes down there and draw a line that comes down there. Okay, so here's our torso for our character. Now we're going to draw the legs next. So right here is where it's our waistline. So then we're going to draw our hips. Okay. So what we're going to do, now you don't want to make your legs super long because your feet are going to be down here. So kind of divide that with an imaginary line so your knees are going to be about right here. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind, that between your waist and the bottom of your paper is kind of going to be where your knee is at. So I'm going to put my finger there as a marker for myself. From the corner of my torso, I'm going to draw a line that kind of comes out, and then I'm going to curve it a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It kind of comes out a little bit, and then I'm going to curve it. Now I'm going to measure about a finger length from this point, and I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay, there's my tiny little dot. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put a dot. So this is going to be for the inside of my legs. So from this dot, I'm going to draw a diagonal line up, just to kind of curve, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now at this point, you could make your lines touch. So that's where your legs would stop. Okay? Or you can make them very close to touching, and then you can just kind of draw a line across. Okay? So there would be our legs. Now for the knee portion, to curve those lines in just a tiny bit. I'm not going to start where I stopped. I'm going to come in just a tiny little bit about right there. And I'm going to draw a diagonal that's down and out. And I'm going to do that on both sides of my legs. So you can see that it's kind of like where the pants kind of curve in, where your knees are at. This is where your calves are going to be of your character. Okay, so then I'm going to draw kind of this diamond shape down to where my ankles are going to be. So this is where our calves are, and this is my ankles. Now our shoes are very easy. We're just going to draw a line kind of at the bottom of the page, and then a big half circle or a big sad face, okay? Because my character is going to wear boots, okay? So there is the feet and legs of our character. Now, we're making a Fortnite character SuperHero, okay? And they're very muscular. Now, mine is not going to be wearing sleeves. Mine has a sleeveless shirt on. But if you don't want yours to have a sleeveless shirt, you can always add your shirt line wherever you want, okay? So from about this point right here on the corner, I'm going to measure about a finger length down, and I'm going to put actually a little bit more than a finger length. And I'm going to put a tiny little line there. I'm going to imaginary line across his body, and I'm going to put another one there. Okay, that's where his armpits are going to be, and that's just going to help us draw his arms down so that it looks proportionate. Okay, from the top of our shoulder, we're going to draw a curve. Okay, and I'll do one arm first, and then we can do the other side. You can do them both at the same time if you want to. It kind of is your preference. Okay. So from here, I drew my curve down. That's the top, that's the shoulder part right there. Okay, from this line where his armpit's going to be, I'm going to draw a curve down. Okay, now I'm going to draw another curve, but I'm not going to start where I stopped. I'm going to start just a little bit above where I stopped, and I'm going to draw another curve. That's for our bicep. Okay, now on the inside, I am going to start where I stopped, and I'm going to draw just another curve like that. So that's kind of like where his forearm is. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, except I'm going to not start where I stopped. I'm going to come up just a tiny little bit. So at this point, your arm should kind of be at your thigh. Okay, does that make sense where your arm would be at your thigh? Okay, now I'm going to add gloves to my character because it just makes it easier to draw the hands. If you want to tackle drawing hands, then you can look up how to draw those. I'm not super great at drawing hands, but that's not to say that you can't find one if you'd like him to have actual fingers and stuff like that. So I'm just going to draw a line and cap off his arm. Okay, so there's the start of that. I'm going to draw two lines down, and then I'm going to cap that off. So this is maybe like the start of this part of his glove, okay, or maybe he's wearing a watch or something like that. For the inside of his hands, it's going to be really easy. You're going to do a curve on the inside toward the closest part of his body, and then you're going to do another curve, close it off. We're going to draw a tiny little square in the corner. That's like where his thumb would be, and then there's another one for maybe decoration of the glove. Okay, so everything that we did on this side, we're going to do over here. All right, top of the shoulder, we're going to draw our curve for our shoulder muscle. Where the armpit is, we're going to draw another curve that comes down. I'm going to extend that a little bit. Draw another curve down. So about right there is going to be his elbow. Draw the line for his forearm. Now here's where you can kind of try to make your arms a little bit more parallel. I made that forearm really large. Cap it. Two lines down. Close it off. Tiny curve on the inside. Bigger curve on the outside. Cap it off. Little square. Little square. All right. So there's our body. Okay? So there's the basic body. Now I'm going to draw a very generic face. I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see our face a little bit easier. Okay, so here's going to be the face of my character. And again, you can make yours different. This is just a very generic, easy face. If this isn't the face that you'd like to draw, then by no means do you have to. Okay, we're going to start in the middle. going to put a tiny little V kind of in the middle where his nose would be. Okay, so there's a V. I'm going to draw 2 lines on top of that V and kind of give him his nose shape. Now I know that looks really funny right now, but it will get better. Okay, a little bit above that, I'm going to draw a dot on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a line on top of my eyes. If your line goes through your eye on the very top a little bit, that's totally fine. If you need to make your eyes a little bit bigger so that they look a little bit more even, you can definitely do that as well. Okay, now to make the easy eyes, all I'm going to do is just draw some diagonals on either side of my line, and I'm going to leave the bottom of it open. Okay, for his eyebrows, I'm going to draw 2 lines kind of at the edge of each eye. So I'm going to come up above, draw a line, come over here on the edge of the eye and draw a line. Then I'm going to just simply connect them. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pretty easy eyebrows for our character. Now for his mouth, I'm going to draw a straight line. I want my character to be smirking, so on one side I'm going to draw a diagonal line up, just for a little tiny smirk, and then underneath I'm going to just draw a little curve. Okay, that kind of gives the mouth a little bit more definition since we're not actually going to be drawing lips. Okay, starting at the side of my eye, I'm going to draw a half circle or a half heart for his ears. And then we have his hair. Now, your hair is open for interpretation. You can make your hair look like your hair or whatever style hair you would like your character to have, but you have to remember where the hair starts, okay? He doesn't start just on the top of his head. He's probably going to have hair to his ears. So I made my head a little narrow, so it's going to be a little harder to draw. I'm going to come just a tiny bit above my ears, but definitely around my eyebrows, and I'm going to draw a curve. Okay, so that's where his hair would start. Okay, so then I'm going to give my guy just spiky hair. So I'm going to draw a line diagonal up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. And there is my hair for my guy. Now, you can definitely make it different if you want him to wear like a hat or a headband. There's all different kinds of accessories that you can do. But right there is our character. So now you can add whatever details you would like. Make him your own. Add whatever style you would like to your character to make him look the way that you want him to.